I can't believe the experience I just had. I was gonna make a totally different video today, but I realized I can't hide this from you guys. A Jewish wedding has to be the most profound experience on this journey, bar none. Shalom everyone, my name's S and I'm taking you on my conversion journey. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, check down below and make sure you're subscribed. And also check down below to make sure you're subscribed to my Patreon, where I'll be sharing all my personal videos and footage of my lovely conversion. And I have two ebooks down below that you could check out. One is on modesty and the other is on the 19 steps you should think about taking before you convert to Judaism. So let's get into today's video. Okay, oh my gosh, oh my goodness. I went to my first Jewish wedding and I was only going to talk about it on my Patreon, but I figured you guys have been on this journey with me. I have to talk about the most exciting thing I have done on this journey. And that's going to this wonderful Orthodox Jewish wedding. My rabbi invited me to come to his daughter's wedding. At first, I was just supposed to go to the cocktail hour and the huppah. And I was ecstatic. I was just like, yay, I'm gonna be a part of something. And I've never been to a Jewish wedding. I didn't know what to expect. The only weddings I've ever been to were weddings for Hispanic weddings, Christian weddings, American weddings, Greek weddings. Never been to an Indian wedding. And I've definitely never been to a religious Jewish wedding. So as I was preparing for this wedding, I made sure I got myself like a nice dress, very conservative. I also did very simple conservative makeup, and I was thinking about a gift to give her. Now, I don't make $1 million, but I love giving like a nice, simple, elegant gift, and I gave her cute little headscarves that she could wear. This girl is 21 years old. She's already stepping into such an amazing role as a woman, to be a wife and then eventually be a mother. I just couldn't even think about how different my life would be if I would have made better choices when I was her age. But we can't go back, right? That's the rule in life. Of course I was nervous. I was nervous from the day I got the invitation up until I was dancing my kishka off at the wedding. One of my concerns was who was actually gonna be there, how was I gonna talk to anybody, kind of like how I am after shul when we have the kiddush. I'm just like kind of looking around, trying to figure out, okay, who's gonna talk to me now? What should I say? Am I presenting myself correctly? Most of the time, I'm just kind of trying to be more self-aware. I realized it was just like any other wedding, kind of like in the beginning, but totally different. I was concerned about how religious it was going to be. I knew this is the rabbi's daughter, but how like serious are things gonna be? I'm definitely gonna stick out like a sore thumb, but I didn't mind that. I just wanted to make sure I was being a respectful human being, and I wanted to follow along correctly. I wanted to know what was happening. So the cocktail hour blew me away. And I'm not gonna say smorgasbord because I can't say it, but I'm just gonna call it cocktail hour. I know some people call it that. So the cocktail hour was phenomenal. There was just so much food. When the bride walked in with her mother and her mother-in-law, it was just a beautiful thing to see them holding her, bringing her to her seat, and then her sisters following her. And then when the groom came in, I've never seen anything like that. He came in and everybody's like singing. I don't know the words, but it was a beautiful, beautiful tune. They sang, he checked to see if that was his bride and gave her a blessing and walked out. And I thought, oh, I guess I've never seen anything like that. This is very different from a Christian wedding. This doesn't happen. And you see the bride first when she comes down the aisle. For it to be more than just seeing the bride in a dress and just seeing how beautiful she is, to see something spiritual happening right here, to know that they are connecting and committing to a life following the Torah, being divine and true to one another, and eventually building a home together. It has just so much more significance in Judaism. So the new thing I learned that night was the custom to ask a bride for a blessing to get married, or to find my soulmate, or for anything, wealth, anything. And I went up to her as quick as I could, and I was just like, you know, you look beautiful, and I'm asking for a blessing for you, so one day this can be me. And she looked at me, and she was just so cute and adorable and gave me a touching blessing. And I just felt that spirituality through her coming to me, and it gave me chills. And I know things sound weird because you guys have probably gone to a zillion Jewish weddings. But for this to be my first Jewish wedding, and it's also an Orthodox, like, religious one, like, really set the standard pretty high. I felt wonderful after that. I was just like, okay, this is fun. We get to drink, I get blessed, and I'm seeing everybody just being joyous. It was just so happy. And the fact that they were so young, it made me think of, like, why we do this at a young age. My mother has always been right about this, and because she got married at 21. Even though I'm 29, I'm not married yet. I can't say that I regret the decisions I made. I made my bed, and now I have to lay in it. What I'm going to teach my daughters is the importance of starting things young, because look at all the support they have. They have their parents, both set of parents, and their grandparents in their lives right now, and helping them form this family and securing the building that's going to be their home together. And not only that, they get to grow together at such a young age. And to have that energy, like these girls and these guys were like screaming and like singing and just so happy to support this young couple. And I'm going to teach my sons and daughters the significance of getting married young. I understand the trend is to get married later, and I understand that things may happen. Like I'm a walking contradiction because I'm almost 30 and I'm not married yet with no children. When I do get there though, I will help my daughters and sons understand why it's important to do this at a young age. So now we get into the huppah. So that was my first time ever seeing one. So when we got into the synagogue, I was just like, oh. By the way, I cried a lot because it was just, you feel the spirituality and the presence of Hashem in this moment. I watched how all the family members walked down the aisle, and this was something different too. Usually we have, like Christians would have like bridesmaids and groomsmen, and I'm not too sure if she actually had that. If she did, they didn't walk down the aisle. It was just family, and I love that. That, to me, makes sense. The family is the most important thing in this marriage, and they are going to carry them through their journey. Why are we having friends walk down the aisle for us? It was nice up until now. I think of it like, of course my parents should walk down. Of course my grandparents should walk down. Of course my siblings. And that's exactly how I'm going to do it at this wedding. I was talking to one of my coworkers as I was telling her this, and she's like, you went to a very religious wedding. And I'm like, why is that a problem? This was probably the most fun at a wedding I've ever had. And I've been to so many. And not to knock the other weddings, they were fun. But this was holy. It was fun. There was a lot of spirit. There were people coming up to me, and we'll get to that part. There were people come up to me, embracing me, and there was just no dull moment. And it was religious, and people were having fun. I don't know why being religious isn't synonymous with fun. Like, people act like because you're religious, you can't live a fun life. Your life has to be rigid and terrible, and you have to be angry and sad all the time. The perception of that wasn't even present at the wedding. The women were modest and elegant. They were holy. They were on a next level. And I was just like, you know, I need to step it up a bit. So as I'm seeing all the family come down the aisle, and, you know, we're showing respect for them standing, they played my favorite song. And I'm only going to play this clip because the rest of the clips are on my Patreon, and you got to sign up for my Patreon if you want to see the rest of this. But let's play this lovely song that I love so much. So now we stand up for the bride, and she comes down, and it's gorgeous, and she circles around him 7 times, and they're under the huppah, and people come and say the 7 brachot, and it's just blessing after blessing. And I just never seen this, and I'm like, this all is just very significant, and they will never forget this. I'm never gonna forget this. Then the rabbi says it's his speech, and he was hilarious as he usually is. And they finish, the groom breaks his glass, Mazal Tov, and then we were singing and dancing on our way out to the meal. So I was the first person to sit at our table, and I noticed the people that were coming to sit down next to me were wearing black hats and were wearing shito. So I was just like, okay, I think we may be at the most religious table here. And they were from Muncie. Anytime I hear Muncie, I can't stop thinking of Unorthodox Life and how she said Muncie is like this horrible, terrible place. If you haven't seen my video on that, that was actually a fun video to make. I'll leave that video above so you guys can check that out. I just sat and I just spoke to them. Of course, they were curious about me. And I told them I'm converting. The rabbi is my sponsor, and he invited us, and we're very grateful to be here. And they were just like blown away. Apparently, her uncle is a rabbi, and we had conversation for a long time. His wife and I were talking. I was talking to his children at the table. We were talking about everything. And things just got very interesting because my sponsoring family, the father, he's a convert as well. And we were talking about everything. And we just had a very interesting table. Hashem works in very mysterious ways. And I think that we were just meant to be there that night. They invited me to come do Shabbat. And I'm nervous to do Shabbat in Muncie. Why not do it? Why not expose myself to all types of Jewish observances, right? So now we're getting into when the bride and groom run into the dance floor, and then I immediately noticed the 2 sides, women's side, men's side, and I just saw like everybody's just in a circle, and I'm just like, I guess I have to get up. So I got up, and I used to do this when I was younger because I liked the attention. Now I like to be a bit more in the shadow. So I was just like standing there, and then I got pulled right in. And I was just like, okay, I didn't realize I could dance this well. So we were just in a circle, spinning and dancing, and it felt like we were dancing forever. I had no concept of time. I was just dancing, having fun, eating, drinking, and of course they pulled me in to dance with the bride alone, which was it was a lot of fun. She loved it. So I was dancing with her. We had a great time, and honestly, this was probably the funnest wedding I've ever been to. I say that because it was just full of joy. I think they are the first in their friend group to actually take this step to get married and to take on such a big mitzvah. They will be truly blessed for the rest of their lives because they touched me. At the end of all this, of course, going home, I was just like thinking about my wedding, and I'm like, I'm old. I'm this, I'm that, I won't have so much energy. I started to be negative. But then I was just like, you know what, how I spent my youth, and I don't mean that I'm old now, but like how I spent my teenage years and my early 20s led me to where I'm at now. And I am the happiest I've ever been, and the most successful I've ever been, the smartest I've ever been, right now at 29 years old. And it may have took me a while, but I'm here, and I'm ready to just commit my life to God and commit my life to living a righteous, noble life. Like, I feel like my life now has meaning. And it might have had meaning, of course, in the past, but I didn't understand it at the time. Now that I have all this knowledge, it's just oozing spirituality, and I love every bit of it. And going to this wedding was such a wonderful experience for me, and I am so grateful for how my conversion has been going, because I don't know anyone who is going through a conversion like this, like I am. Like, it's very unique, and I'm gonna continue to keep sharing. So, if you aren't subscribed to my channel, make sure you're subscribed down below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like my lovely content. And don't forget to download your ebooks down below. Thank you guys again, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in the next video. Shalom!